Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion and beauty. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, palette collection, topics, categories, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, I am living my best Wednesday Addams Valentine's look. That is definitely what I am projecting right now, kind of on accident, but now I'm kind of thinking this is sort of an anti-Valentine's Day look since it's kind of Wednesday-like, but that was an accident, but I thought I would just point it out because I think it's funny. And it could be fitting if you're an anti-Valentine's type of girl. But in this video, I am showing you guys 14 palettes in my collection that have Valentine's Day vibes. Maybe you have some of these in your collection too and you hadn't thought about pulling them out for Valentine's looks. Or maybe you're in the market to get one quickly before Valentine's hits. So if you want to see these 14 palettes in my collection that have Valentine's vibes, keep on watching. All right, you guys, so the things I look for in a Valentine's Day palette, pretty obvious, but pinks, reds, berries, maybe purple in it as well. I don't really count it a Valentine's palette if it doesn't have at least pink and red. Like I wouldn't consider just an all purple palette a Valentine's palette, obviously. And then with the berries, I tried to look, does it have like pink and berry in it? So let's just go ahead and start with what is on my eyes today. This is actually a really, really pretty palette and formula. This is the Pretty Chic palette from Colored Raine. And here she is. So this is totally Valentine's Day. Purple, red, pink, hot pink, and then a couple of shimmers here. I do have those on my eyes. These are really pretty. This Booked and Busy one is, let me show you. It's so sparkly and such a pretty like inner corner one. And then the one that's on my lid right here, this pink one. Super, super pretty. You guys, I love Colored Raine. I always say one of the most underrated brands in my opinion. And I'm still not really sure what all she's doing with her brand right now because she hasn't been coming out with eyeshadow palettes like she used to. So I don't know if she's kind of rebranding, but if you have a chance to pick up any of her eyeshadow palettes, highly recommend. Okay, next up we have a quad, and this is the Snow Angel quad from Profusion Cosmetics. This came out this holiday season. There was this one, and then there was a blue purple palette, that a 4-pan. But this little 4-pan, whenever I did my look with it, when I got the collection, I said this will also make a perfect Valentine's palette. I still think that. I also think Valentine's Day palettes are really good to double use for blush since they're probably going to have red, pink in it. You can also use your shadows for blush. And I did that with these. They were very pigmented and it made a very, very bold blush look. But you could go light-handed. I also used the shimmers as actual like highlighters too. So this is just a cute little quad. And if you happen to have picked that up during the holidays, you could definitely use it for February. Next, we have the Moira Loved by You palette. So this is one that is kind of on the cusp. Half of it's neutral, but then you do have pink and you have like a deep purple. You have berries in here. And then you do have a couple of shimmers. So I kind of went back and forth on this one and I thought, no, I could see it. I could see a Valentine's look with this if you play with the pinks and the berries. And these are really, really good affordable palettes, by the way, from Moira. Next, we have another affordable palette, the Fuchsia palette from Profusion. And you guys hear me all the time rave about these tin pans, so I'm not going to wax on. Just know they're really, really good. They're really affordable. And this one you could definitely pull out for February. Next, we have an oldie but goodie from BH Cosmetics. And funny enough, I have not used this palette. I've had the Cotton Candy palette for years and years, and I used that one a lot. Before they even relaunched those, I had that one. And then I happened to pick this one up at TJ Maxx a while back, kind of when they were going out of business. And so I have actually not used this palette, but I very much could. Now it's kind of also on the cusp because these are a little bit more like warm corally tones in here, but I do think like this shimmer, juicy, this one sweet, maraschino, and black cherry. I think these shimmers definitely count for Valentine's, so that's why I decided to go ahead and include that one, and I need to use it. I'm just gonna swatch those shimmers. Pretty. All right, next up we have a no longer available palette, unfortunately, but it is the C'est L'Amour palette from Gourmande Girls. If you have this palette, what better time to pull it out than now? Like, this is the most Valentine's Day palette I probably have because the theming of Paris and love. I really enjoyed this palette. I know that it didn't get across the board the best reviews, but I really enjoyed it myself. I especially love this shade. It's not the most Valentine shade in here, but I really did like that one. You have your reds, you have a black. You could do anti-Valentine's Day with this one too. Like, I think these 6 kind of says anti-Valentine's, and then this goes a little bit brighter. But if you did buy this one when it was available, don't forget about it. Now, another one from Gourmande Girls that is still available is the Warriors Wear Pink palette. And this, I think, is on sale for $29.99 right now. And the blue is kind of the outlier that throws it off a little bit for Valentine's. But for the most part, this is definitely a good Valentine's Day palette. This was in support of Sirius Soto, who has breast cancer and is a warrior. And so it holds a special place in my heart. You could also do anti-Valentine's with this because you've got the black. I think anytime you have a black and like a deep burgundy, you can definitely pull that off as well. Next, we obviously have to include the Natasha Denona Love palette. So here she is. I actually need to play with this some more because I've only used it a few times and I wasn't really blown away by it. I liked the mattes. I didn't love the shimmers in here, but I didn't try them all. So I do need to bust this one out soon. And if you have it, you can bust it out too. This is a Tarte palette. This was part of their holiday collection 2 years ago. And this one is the Gilded palette. And this one's definitely pushing it a little bit, and I was like, oh, do I include it? And it's really just this row right here that I think you could do a really pretty Valentine's Day with it, unless you do like to include, you know, if you're like, I can't go all the way pinky tones, I've got to have neutrals even in my Valentine's Day look, well, then you could definitely incorporate them in here. I don't think gold when I think Valentine's Day, but I guess you could do a red and pink look with like a pop of gold and use a shimmer in here. So it's definitely just really this row. Also, I really wanted it to be 14 palettes because February 14th, also known as my anniversary, that's when my grandparents got married. And so, I mean, they've been passed for a while now, but they were alive. Well, my Mimi was alive whenever I got married. And so in honor, just for them, we got married on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Sometimes it's embarrassing whenever I say that's our anniversary, because I know Valentine's Day is so not controversial, but like, I mean, people either love it or they hate it. And the people that hate it with a mighty vengeance. So it's my anniversary. What can I say? All right. Next up, we have Raspberry Kiss from Sydney Grace. And this one is definitely more of that berry tone sort of look for Valentine's Day. You know, I know a lot of people don't like to wear red on the eyes. I think it makes them look sick. I really enjoy it, but if you are that type and you're like, I don't want to do on the nose red, I do think you could kind of get a little bit of a look out of this one. Then we have the LA Girl Break Free eyeshadow palette. And this is kind of, This is kind of anti-Valentine's Day looking actually, because you've got a black and you've got a lot of cool dark tones in here. But I thought it worked enough because you do have these berry tones in here and you do have purple. This is definitely anti-Valentine's. It is. It actually is really pretty. So if you're anti-Valentine's, but you still want to do an anti-Valentine's look, you could use that. Then we have Royal Rose from Cosmic Brushes, and some of these shades in here throw this off, but I was like, all right, just pretend that the teal and like the yellow isn't there, and I feel like the rest of it really works. Like if you take out these two and this one, these four really, then it's kind of that, you know, it's got a red, it's got pink, it has purple, and then it also has the neutrals if you like to incorporate those with your Valentine's looks. Then we have, this is another one you have to kind of ignore the blue in here. This is the Strawberry Dream palette from Lunar Beauty. And if you take those out, I definitely think this could say Valentine's for sure. I really, really enjoy this palette actually. I need to use this a lot more. And these are also pretty for blushes as well. I've used this one for a really light blush before, and this one's kind of could be like a sort of a terracotta color. This one deeper. So I think you could use those for blushes and your look. And then the very last one, does anyone know what it is? If you know my collection or you know a brand that I have every palette, except for one, you probably can figure it out. It's Nomad. It's Nomad. It's the love side of the Love and Death, or the Amour side. So yeah, I think this, other than the Gourmande Girls Say L'Amour, I think this is also just the most Valentine's palette out of all of these. And these work really, really well as blushes too. I have used this one, this one, this one. I don't think I've used the red for a blush, but I do need to try that. So if you had this and you just, sometimes I think maybe people forget, I had this in my winter palettes because I was showing this side. And I think sometimes people forget about one of the sides of this, so they just don't bust it out at all. But definitely bust this side out for Valentine's. All right, you guys, that is it. That's my 14 Valentine's Vibes palettes. You guys let me know what your favorite ones are in your collection. Let me know what you think about Valentine's. That might be opening up a can of worms because, like I said, I know a lot of people don't like it. Be on the lookout. Also, I will be doing a collab with my friend Heather. Pop her over here. A Valentine's Day look. And I thought I would use maybe one of these palettes. And you guys let me know if there's a specific one that you really want to see a look for. And if I have enough votes for that, then I will use that palette in that upcoming video. Thank you guys for watching so much. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.